Navratri has begun. 9 nights of the Divine Mother, 9 nights when the goddesses take us by the hand, leading us from the darkness of fear to the light of strength and devotion. On this first sacred night, we meet Shailaputri, the daughter of the mountain. She's the first step of devotion, the foundation of all spiritual practices, the unshakable strength that anchors our soul. But who is Shailaputri? To understand her story, we must journey back to another time, to another life, when she was known as Sati. Long ago, the great king Daksha Prajapati, son of Lord Brahma, performed a great yajna. Daksha was so powerful, proud, and deeply devoted to the gods. From his lineage was born a daughter, a girl of extraordinary radiance, glowing with divine beauty and purity. This was Sati. From her childhood, Sati's heart belonged to one alone, Lord Shiva, the great ascetic who lived in meditation on Mount Kailash. Though he wore animal skins, adorned himself with ash, and roamed the cremation grounds, to Sati, he was the very essence of truth, the eternal consciousness. With unshakable devotion, she performed penances, prayed day and night until finally her love was fulfilled. Shiva accepted her, and Sati became his beloved consort, the mother of the universe, dwelling with him in joy and deep spiritual union. But Daksha, Sati's father, never approved of this union. In his eyes, Shiva was wild, unrefined, a mendicant unworthy of his royal daughter. One day, Daksha announced a grand yajna to which all gods, sages, and kings were invited. He invited everyone except Shiva. Sati, glowing with dignity, went to her father's ritual despite Shiva's warning. She hoped perhaps Daksha's heart would soften when he saw her. But instead, Daksha unleashed his anger before the entire assembly. He mocked Shiva, calling him unworthy, an outcast, unfit to be worshipped. Sati trembled. Her father's words pierced her heart like 1,000 arrows. She could not bear the insult to her beloved Lord. In grief and fury, she closed her eyes, entered deep meditation, and invoked the fire of her inner soul. With one final breath, she declared, "This body that was born of Daksha is no longer mine. I cast it aside, for it has been dishonored." And before all the eyes, she immolated herself in the sacred fire. The heavens shook, the gods trembled, the universe itself seemed to cry. When Shiva learned of Sati's sacrifice, his grief turned into cosmic rage. He rushed to the yajna, his eyes burning with fire. Lifting Sati's body upon his shoulders, he rode in sorrow and fury, performing the tandava of destruction. The gods trembled, for his dance threatened to shatter the creation itself. To protect the world, Lord Vishnu used his Sudarshan chakra to cut Sati's body into pieces, scattering them across the earth. Wherever her paths fell, temples and Shaktipitas arose, sanctifying the land with her eternal presence. And Shiva returned to the silence of meditation. The world, though still turning, had lost its mother. But the mother cannot stay away from her children for long. For ages, the earth prayed for her return, and in time she was born again. This time to King Himavan, the mighty lord of the Himalayas, and his queen Mainavati. Their penance and devotion bore fruit when the goddesses chose to descend as their child. From the moment she was born, her face shone with divine radiance. The mountains themselves seemed to bow to her. Rivers flowed with new sweetness, flowers bloomed out of season, and sages declared, "This child is no ordinary one. She is the mother returned." Thus was born Parvati, also known as Shailaputri, the daughter of the mountain. From her earliest years, Shailaputri displayed a serenity that set her apart. While other children played, she would sit for hours in meditation, her eyes closed, her breath calm, and though she was one with very spirit of the Himalayas. Villagers and sages would travel just to glimpse her. They said her very presence washes away sorrow. Her smile is like the rising sun after a storm. As she grew, she radiated compassion and wisdom. Every tree, every bird, every stone of the Himalayas seemed alive in her presence. Her parents, Himavan and Mainavati, loved her deeply. But they too knew she was not just their child, she was Adi Shakti, the eternal mother dwelling once more among her children. This is Shailaputri, the first form of Navadurga. She is not just the daughter of the mountains, she is the daughter of the strength itself. She is the reminder that after every ending comes a new beginning, that even after the fire of loss, life blooms again. The goddesses does not appear in random forms. Every image, every symbol, every detail is filled with deep meaning. The form of Shailaputri is not just to be worshipped, it is to be understood, meditated upon, and lived. Let us now enter into the divine symbolism of Daughter of the Mountain. Shailaputri is depicted riding a bull known as Nandi. The bull represents steadfast strength and patient endurance. The bull does not run quickly like a horse nor fly like a bird. It moves slowly, steadily, carrying heavy burdens without complaint. This is the message of Shailaputri. In life's journey, it is not speed that matters, but steadiness. The path of devotion is not a race, it is a steady walk, step by step, with patience and strength. When we meditate, we are reminded to carry our responsibilities with dignity, to remain strong in the face of hardship, and to walk with courage even if the progress feels slow. In her right hand, Shailaputri carries a trident, Trishul. The trident represents three great powers: will, Ichha Shakti, the power of intention; knowledge, Jnana Shakti, the power of wisdom; action, Kriya Shakti, the power of doing. Life becomes complete only when these three are balanced. If we have will without wisdom, we fall into arrogance. If we have knowledge without action, it remains useless. If we have action without will, we move without direction. Shailaputri, holding the trident, reminds us that the Divine Mother integrates all three within her being. In her left hand, she carries a lotus. The lotus grows in muddy waters, yet its petals remain untouched by the dirt. This is the symbol of purity, devotion, and spiritual awakening. To hold the lotus is to declare, even if the world around me is filled with chaos, I will remain pure. Even if difficulties surround me, I will blossom in devotion. The lotus is also the symbol of awakening consciousness. Just as the flower opens with the rising sun, our inner consciousness blossoms when touched by the light of devotion. Shailaputri governs the earth element, also known as Prithvi Tattva, the very foundation of life. Think of the earth. It bears the weight of mountains, oceans, forests, and yet it remains steady. It feeds us, supports us, gives us a home, yet never asks for a praise. In the same way, Shailaputri teaches us humility and strength. She says, "Be like the earth, bear life's burdens without complaint, give generously, stay steady in storms, and in your humility, discover your power." In yogic wisdom, Shailaputri is connected to the Muladhara chakra, the root chakra at the base of the spine. This chakra represents our foundation, our survival, stability, and grounding. If this chakra is unbalanced, we feel fear, anxiety, and instability. But when it is steady, we feel safe, rooted, and strong. Meditating on Shailaputri balances the Muladhara chakra. She is the grounding energy, the root from which all spiritual growth rises. A tree cannot reach the skies unless its roots are deep in the soil. In the same way, a seeker cannot reach God unless they are steady at their root. Shailaputri is that root. She is the grounding force that holds our soul in balance. Ask yourself, am I steady in my devotion, or do I shake with every difficulty? Am I grounded in humility or swayed by the pride? Do I carry my responsibilities patiently, or do I run away when life becomes heavy? Shailaputri whispers to you, stand firm, be steady, be rooted. Only then will you bloom into your highest self. Now sit quietly, imagine the great Himalayas rising before you. At the peak, radiant and calm, sits the mother, Shailaputri, on her bull, holding the trident and lotus. Visualize her grounding energy flowing into you. Feel your breath become steady. Feel your body becoming rooted like a mountain. And softly chant within your heart, Om Devi Shailaputraye Namaha. This is the symbolism of Shailaputri, the bull of strength, the trident of balance, the lotus of purity, the earth of stability, the root chakra of grounding. She is not only a goddess outside, she is the very foundation within us. Shailaputri's glory is not just sung in temples during Navaratri. It is deeply rooted in our ancient scriptures, the Puranas, Devi Bhagavatam, Markandeya Purana, and countless stotras chanted by sages. Let us journey into these sacred texts and discover how the Mother of the Universe first reveals herself in the form of Shailaputri. Shailaputri in Devi Bhagavatam. The Devi Bhagavatam, one of the most revered texts glorifying the Divine Mother, describes Shailaputri as the primordial power who sustains creation. She is no one other than Adi Parakshakti, who takes form as the daughter of the mountains to bless the world with her divine presence. In the first canto, she is described as Himalayasya Tanaya, the daughter of the mighty Himalaya. It is said that the gods themselves prayed to her when they were overpowered by the demons. She appeared as Shailaputri, promising that whenever adharma arises, she will take form to restore balance. Mentions in Markandeya Purana. The Markandeya Purana presents Devi Mahatmya, also called as Durga Saptashati. Here, though the name Shailaputri is not directly mentioned, the essence of her form is described in verse praising the mother as the goddesses who dwells in all beings as strength, as consciousness, and as sustenance. Shailaputri embodies the first step of Shakti's manifestation, grounding divine power into earthly existence. This is why sages say without worshipping Shailaputri, no other form of Durga can be truly invoked. Legends of Sage Markandeya's worship. Sage Markandeya, blessed with immortality by Lord Shiva, is said to have worshipped Shailaputri as part of his devotion to the mother. Every dawn, he would chant hymns in her name, describing her as the very life force that entered all creation. It is said that once, when demons tried to disturb his penance, Shailaputri reappeared riding her bull, wielding her trident, and protected him. This story teaches us a powerful truth. When we invoke her with devotion, she becomes our guardian, removing all obstacles from the path of sadhana. The dialogue between Himalaya and Narada. The Devi Bhagavatam also narrates a tender episode. When Shailaputri was born, sage Narada visited Himalaya and told him, O King of mountains, you are blessed. The Mother of the Universe herself has taken birth as your daughter. She will one day be the consort of Lord Shiva, and through her, the entire world will be uplifted. This prophecy filled the Himalaya king with both joy and reverence, for he knew that his daughter was not an ordinary child, but the very goddess who sustains existence. Worship of Shailaputri by Saptarishis. The Saptarishis, the seven great sages, are said to have worshipped Shailaputri in ancient times. Each sage saw in her reflection of cosmic power. Sage Atri called her Prithvitvatva, the earth element itself. Sage Brigu praised her as Kundalini Shakti, the energy coiled at the base of creation. Sage Vashishta prayed to her as the source of Dharma. Sage Vishwamitra described her as the first light that dispels darkness. This is why even today, yogis begin their spiritual practices by meditating upon Shailaputri, grounding themselves in the earth's strength. As we see, the scriptures do not just praise Shailaputri as a goddess to be worshipped, they remind us that she is the foundation of all spiritual life. When we bow to Shailaputri, we are not just performing a ritual, we are acknowledging the divine earth beneath our feet, the strength in our breath, and the grounding power that allows us to stand firm in life no matter how strong the storms may be. Devi Shailaputri teaches us timeless lessons. First, groundness amidst stress. In today's fast world, we are often shaken by challenges, work, relationships, and uncertainties. But like Shailaputri, we too can stand firm like a mountain. When you feel stressed, place your feet on the ground, breathe deeply, and remind yourself, I'm steady and I will not fall. Second, humility before success. Though she is a goddess, Shailaputri rides a simple bull, not a grand chariot. She reminds us true strength lies not in pride but in humility. Even when life gives you success, bow your head in gratitude, for all belongs to the divine. Third, devotion as the root of strength. Her lotus is a symbol of surrender, offering every action, every thought to the Divine Mother. When we anchor ourselves in devotion, we discover a strength greater than any storm. As you step into the sacred day of Navaratri, remember you're steady as the mountain. You're rooted in strength. You are a child of Divine Mother. May Devi Shailaputri's grace be with you today and always. Thus begin our 9 night journey into the heart of the Divine Mother. Tomorrow we will meet Brahmacharini, the ascetic goddesses of penance, who shows us the power of determination and devotion.